Just when you thought these games of hunger would not end, they finally deliver the culmination, the finale.
I'll tell you, I'm
of
hungry.
The Hunger Games.
That was 2.5 hours of movie. I want to go out and eat some lunch right now. You know what I'm
It was
saying?
not Lord of the Rings. I am also very hungry.
Yeah.
But this is The Hunger Games, The Mockingjay Part 2. This obviously stars Katniss Everdeen doing what she does. She is the voice of the rebellion. She is the one that they look to. She is the Mockingjay.
I'm going to kill Snow. Nothing good is safe while he's alive.
My big problem with this movie is that there's some really terrific stuff in here, and I've actually enjoyed a lot of the experiences that I've had in the Hunger Games movies, but there was no need for them to stretch Part 1 and Part 2 into 2 separate movies. It's totally indulgent and a total money grab.
Definitely a money grab, for sure. And normally I would agree with you, but I feel like they covered so much that maybe we did need 2 movies, because this second movie was, 2.5 hours.
They had so many let's stop and have some dialogue type sequences in this movie. It totally brings the pace down because it's punctuated by some pretty compelling action beats, and we get kind of thrust back into the conceit of the Hunger Games with the pods offering all kinds of death traps and things like that. And those are very thrilling moments.
For sure.
And you can see that budget was spent in that direction. But for the majority of the movie, we're sitting in dark, underground kind of caverns or dark sort of corners of snow-covered cityscapes. And just hearing these guys go back and forth and watching Jennifer Lawrence sort of bemoan the choices that she's making between Gale and Peeta. And we've been watching that now for 4 movies now.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
it's a little ridiculous.
there was way too much of Peeta. There was way too much of Peeta. Like, I can't. He drove me nuts from the first movie, and he's continued to drive me nuts.
He's just not a believable character in this arc, because you can see the other actors, and no offense to Josh Hutcherson, the actor, he just doesn't look like he would survive all this way. You know, he just looks like something would have taken him out.
You're still trying to protect me. Real or not real?
Real. That's what you and I do.
Listen, if you stuck with Hunger Games and you're a fan of the series, you're going to want to see this. There is some resolution for sure. I like the connection that this is the winter part of this tale, you know, because it all started off in a very beatific, spring-like kind of fashion with Katniss running through the woods, very Lara Croft-like at the beginning of the Hunger Games. I thought all that stuff was great, and I've enjoyed like a lot of the sort of process of these films, but this one just bogged way down and got it just plodded along and just put me to sleep. There was just too much exposition, too much going back and forth, and too much kind of hemming and hawing about who to believe and who to trust. And this should have been a run. This should have been a sprint to the end, and it should have been thrilling all the way, especially because we're dealing with the resolution of this massive conflict that we've seen for so long.
Victor Lucas, what are you scoring The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2?
This is a bad movie. It's getting a 4 out of 10, and I was expecting it to be a lot better than this. So what are you giving it?
I think it's a 6.5.
EP's movie coverage is brought to you by Nintendo, makers of Splatoon for the Wii U.